All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, or afternoon for some. Actually, it's afternoon. I almost thought it was morning still. I'm still stuck on this Seattle Carolina game. I haven't paid attention to the clock at all. Anyway, welcome. This is the UFC Boston pre-fight show. My name is Eddie Law. I'm your host. My co-host Jesse Rubalcaba. How you doing, man?
How's it going, man?
Not bad. And since we're on the football note, congratulations on getting your actual favorite team, Rams, are moving to your town. I don't know how you get that lucky, but how you feel?
I feel good, man. Finally, like I always keep saying every season, I'm like, I'm gonna go watch them, play against one of the crappy teams here, but it's always like a huge drive. So it's always a
Yeah.
pain in the ass. But like finally, you know,
Now they're coming to your
it'll be
backyard, man.
nice.
Now they're coming
Yeah,
to
I
your
know.
backyard.
The
Jesus,
only
man.
the thing I like though,
Huh.
the thing I like though is seeing the news and all the gangster guys with the Rams jersey, the old style Rams jersey, and their logos and everything. It's pretty
Yeah.
good. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what goes on. Real quick, did you watch Invicta at all last night?
Not really, man. I was busy. I'm doing this whole date night thing with my wife recently, so
Yeah,
doing
you
stuff.
gotta keep the passion alive, man. Fucking all I saw was Cyborg's fight, and she knocked this chick out nasty. First of all, the Russian chick, like, held her own. She almost got out of the first round with Cyborg, which is really hard to do, right? And she had her
Yeah.
pinned but she ate a lot of knees. Like, this Russian chick took some punishment just to get to where she got to. And then Cyborg was able to get out of well, she took Cyborg down. Cyborg got back up, able to get out of the clinch, and just pop, pop, boom, right hand on her chin, and put her to sleep. And the ground shots were even worse. The shots Cyborg hit that chick on the ground with made me feel so horrible, so horrible. Really, I was just like, no, that's just mean. But
Well, I
yeah,
mean, what do you do? What do you do if that's your person that's fighting? Like you're the corner guy. Like, all right, so who do we have to fight? Cyborg. So call the ambulance beforehand?
speaking of the ambulance, supposedly they couldn't find it. You hear about that?
No.
They were trying to transport a couple fighters to the hospital, and the ambulance was nowhere to be seen.
Oh
Like,
my God.
there was nothing. It was just crazy. Um,
See, like I think we all like collectively cheer for Invicta to do good, but then when
mhm.
stuff like this happens, you're just like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah, it's the weirdest. I don't know. I like Invicta, I really do, but they need to get their stuff together. You know what I mean?
You
Um,
especially like Invicta when somebody else fights, huh?
hey,
Like in
look,
March.
March, Alexa Grasso coming back. That's right. That's right. She's gonna come back and fight. I don't, she fight for the title, right?
I think so, more than likely.
That's the only fight you can make for her. She's about to bail to the UFC pretty soon, so it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. By the way, and I have to say this because it was really, we know social media is full of this mostly garbage people, right? Like, let's be honest,
Yeah.
the massive social media, Twitter, Facebook, is just really shitty people. And luckily we've been pretty lucky to be able to have like people that watch the shows and people that we can almost consider friends on Twitter actually be good people, right? Good-hearted people. What bothered me about last night was the everyone pointing out Julie Kedzie, who's a matchmaker and also one of the announcers for Invicta. They were like, "Oh, she got fat, she got huge, she got fat." Like, what the hell? Who cares? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
people went out of
Jesus.
their way to tweet about it. It was just awful. And she, unfortunately for her, like, well, not unfortunately, she came out and basically told everyone to F off, but she said the weight gain is part of a medical thing. She's got a medical issue, and that's the reason she gained weight. It's part of it. You know what I mean? So all those people that were doing all that shit, you all can go fuck yourselves. All of you. I hope when you get older and you gain 50 pounds, someone on Twitter comes at you and starts fucking mentioning you every tweet about how you're fat and you look like shit and you should kill yourself. Like,
Why?
I really got so annoyed at that shit, man.
See, the thing is that those people are gonna be so fat they can't even get on Twitter or Facebook or anything. So,
You ever seen
screw
that
them.
South Park? You seen that South Park where they all get fat and they're playing World of Warcraft?
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
lying.
exactly.
It's gonna be them, motherfucker.
Hey, let me ask you real quick before we get to these awesome fights, actually, because
Hmm.
you look at this card, it's gonna be an awesome card. But what's your opinion on the whole well what's his name not John Anik, but no,
Florian.
yeah, Kenny.
For those that haven't heard, Kenflo, he recently got busted for plagiarizing. And he plagiarized, first of all, everyone's saying it was a paragraph. It wasn't a complete paragraph, but it was
Mm,
several lines out of this
word
one
for word
dude's.
on some of them.
Oh, word for word on quite a bit of them. And dude, really, I was shocked because Kenflo's such a good guy. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But, and this isn't really in his defense, not at all. But this is basically just a high profile case of something that happens every day. I kid you not. You go to MMA fighting, you go to MMA junkie. All right, people don't say it. Nobody talks about it because they get, you know, when those guys plagiarize, it's from really, really small guys. I mean, guys that are doing it out of their, you know, basements or whatever, or out of like me, out of my room, out of my, you know, my place. You know what I mean? Like, they get out of guys like that, and so they can plagiarize all they want. They don't say squat. I mean, so it's a problem. It happens all the time to the big websites, right? Like fighting and junkie and all.
Hey, BJ Penn, we're looking at you over there.
Yeah, BJ Penn, you copy dude,
paste.
They copy paste, and it's like they might as well put their logo should be BJ Penn going like this. Like, it really is. It really just be middle fingers to everybody because they do it constantly and they don't give a shit. You know what I mean? But and Joker saying on the YouTube comment saying it was the third time that he got caught. It's unfortunate. I didn't expect Kempflo to be that kind of guy. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where, because he's a good person when you talk to him and when he's on TV and all that, you assume, because he's a professional, that he's not doing stuff like that. But you got to remember, Florian is not a writer. Never has been. And he's never, he wasn't, his aim in life wasn't to be a broadcaster. He was a great fighter. You know what I mean? And for especially for the era that he was fighting in. And then afterwards, he just got into broadcasting, and then someone asked him to write something, and that was it. It went downhill from there. He just has it's an issue. It's a problem. So, you know, it was just weird, dude. What'd you think of it?
Yeah, you know, I kind of felt for him because, like, everybody, like, just like the landslide of just like horrible stuff came his way, you know. And honestly, like, you know, the way he explained it, you know, you and I, we can understand a big website like that, you know, and you know, instead of like maybe he send like some cliff notes, like, oh, add like something here, add something there to the editor. And editor has so much crap to do. Probably MMA is like one of the least things he has to worry about. So he's just like, whatever, put that up there. You know, like that happens all the time where, you know, even big, you know, websites, you know, newspapers, they do that all the time where they omit something and then later they have to retract something, or, you know, you know, they have whole sections in newspapers dedicated to them, you know, apologizing for crap they wrote that was wrong. So, I mean, you know, everybody needs to kind of lay off him. You know, we all know what he knows, how smart he is about the fight game. You know, it's not like he definitely needs to borrow what other people think about, you know, the fight game. But to make it easier for him, maybe he, you know, he saw something, wanted to quote it, didn't get all the information out there on time. Who knows? You know, we got to give him the benefit of the doubt. But man, the landslide that came his way was ridiculous, though. Jesus.
Yeah, you know what? If Kempflo wants to talk, you know, do a little you know, non-plagiarized, like, little op-ed on what Ronda Rousey might be going through, he got a tiny preview out of that. Because some of the tweets I saw were horrible. I saw people tweeting like, "I can't believe you stole stuff. You should kill yourself." Like, really? For plagiarizing, you should kill himself, you retard? Like, and he's blocking people, dude. He has worn out that block button on his thing. You see anything negative and put at Ken Florian, you're getting blocked for sure. Like, now it's a cool thing to do now, to screen cap that Ken Flo blocked you. It's like hilarious on Twitter. But yeah, and Flying Brian over on YouTube saying, I agree, benefit of the doubt. I feel bad for Flo. I do too. And then Joker, of course Joker got blocked. Joker says this. He goes, Ken Flo blocked me just for asking him if it was true that what they were putting out. Yeah, so, you know, Florian, hey, look, Florian's touchy right now. So, it's unfortunate. Well, it really is unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do, though? I mean, at least he went out there and, you know, said his piece. And, you know, he said he's going to say his piece on his show on Monday. So, I mean, you know, he's got a platform to explain himself. So everybody should hold the phone and just, you know, give him the benefit of the doubt. And anyway, Fox is, you know, they're gonna suspend him, check everything out, and then probably reinstate him soon enough. Because I mean, that guy is pretty smart on the desk. So they definitely want him back.
They're just gonna wait for all this to blow over. It'll be, you know, 2-3 weeks, and then he'll be back. Maybe a month or two, maybe he'll be back or whatever, and doing what he's got to do. All right, let's talk about this card, man. UFC Boston. Now it's weird that there's a Sunday card, but if anybody watched the Cardinals Green Bay game last night, you're probably thankful that the fights went on at the exact same time, because I would have put a bullet in my brain, first of all, from the game being that stressful, but two, having to go back between the UFC and that game would have just killed me. So obviously Sunday night, unfortunately, those of us have to work on Sunday. I don't, luckily. So and of course tonight's game is like Steelers Broncos. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be that crazy of a game. It might, but probably won't. So
they still have fans, those guys?
of course he got fans. This guy, a guy with a noodle arm for Denver and a guy with an injured arm in the other one. So it's gonna suck. All right, UFC Fight Pass prelims begin at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. So to give you an idea, they start in about 2 hours, 10 minutes from now. You get Fight Pass prelims, and even the prelims are pretty good. Kicking off with a light heavyweight bout between Francimar Barroso and Elvis. Forget your last name, dude, because I'm pretty sure it's spelled Mutapcic. I'm assuming it's Mutachik or something like that. But if forget trying to spell it just from the sound, by the way. But anyway, Bosnian, and I don't think he's a late replacement, is he? You know?
He kind of is.
Is he?
Yeah, but I mean, not super late where you're going to be like, oh man, that's going to affect him. But I mean, he's a newcomer. That's the thing. But breaking this down real quick for you, you got Francimar Barroso, who, if you look at his record, this is the first time he's ever fought outside of Brazil.
Yep.
That's a big red flag for me.
Yeah, let's wait when the tests come out. We'll find out.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody now, guy. You never know.
Come on. I mean, we were talking about it before. I mean, what's his name that just popped for weed?
Brenda.
Weed.
By the way,
sure.
Did that not shock the shit out of you? The fact that he got busted for weed and not some
for
steroids or Thai dick pill something. It was weed.
Yeah, for weed,
really? Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, and he gives weed a bad name, man. I mean, look at Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's not aggro like that. A lot of fighters that we know for sure smoke weed aren't like that crazy.
Yeah.
Want to fight everybody, punch people in the face. I mean, that guy.
Look, weed smokers are the most chill people on the planet. All right, even Nick Diaz. By the way, Nick Diaz, if you think about it, should be on weed at all times. I mean, you see how aggressive he gets in the cage. He should just, for people's safety, he should be high all the time. Just be high.
Yeah.
But
I mean, look at him at that show that he wasn't high at apparently. Got into a fist fight with
World Series of Fighting?
Khabib. Yeah, World Series.
You were at that.
Yeah, I sure was.
Yeah, jeez, him and his brother, man, they just, that's one thing you kind of with the Diaz brothers. They're not full of shit. They're not bullshitting. They will fight anywhere. But yeah, homeboy, the Bosnian is actually a middleweight, moving up to the light heavyweights for the UFC. So
yeah. I mean, if you look, a lot of people are really, really high on the fact that Elvis here is coming into the UFC finally. I mean, he's got a solid record, 15-3, I believe. Got some good wins under his belt. I think he knocked out Sam Alvey a couple years back.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He's got a solid game. A solid game. And I think that's what, like we were talking about, this card is definitely. It's starting off with some fire, and it's probably going to end with some fire. It's not going to be a boring card. If we get a boring fight, it'll probably be something stupid like some, two jiu-jitsu guys or two strikers that just kind of cancel each other out and just kind of pitter patter their way through it. But from the looks of it, pretty much it's going to be just fireworks all the way down. But Elvis, he's got the all around game. Barroso, he's also got the all around game. But like I said before. He's never fought outside of Brazil. Every single, fight that he's had is in Brazil, in his home country, feeling comfortable. Now he has to travel. Now he has to go pretty far, to prove himself. And I don't know. I just don't know how that's going to affect him. Hopefully he's had enough time to adjust, that whole thing. And being from Brazil, going to Boston where, his dick probably already froze off. So I'm going with Elvis here to win this fight.
I'm taking Elvis as well, and it's honestly, did you ever see that fight he had? I know what promotion it was. Him against Mutante, Cesar Ferreira.
Oh, yeah.
Cesar Ferreira.
Wasn't it like a jungle fight or something like that? Or a CCFC or whatever?
I forgot what the promotion was, but Mutante fucked up. He went forward in such a weird way, trying to throw wild strikes, kept his chin up like this, and Elvis was kind of like, okay, left hand, boom, knocks him down, comes down with the angriest hammer fist ever, got two of them on him, and ended that fight nasty. To me, Barroso is a Mutante type of guy, right? Of course, on the ground, he's going to be good. But on the feet, he has no clue what's going on. And it's kind of like, look, no one has worse striking than Gabby Garcia, let's be honest. But in that Gabby Garcia fight, dude, come on, you seen anyone worse than Gabby Garcia striking? Let's be honest.
With experience, yeah. Jake Shields.
Okay, let's just say, oh shit, you're right. Yeah, Jake's striking assist.
I mean,
you train with Nick Diaz. What the fuck?
His striking, he never practices. It looks like his striking is just to kind of distract you from him grabbing you and throwing you to the ground.
That's
But
kind of
yeah,
what he does. Yeah, he
I
tries.
get what you
Yeah,
mean.
yeah, yeah. But Gabby Garcia striking, if you guys saw her in Ryzen, she came out
Oh
with some
Lord.
decent form, threw a couple strikes. The second she got hit hard, everything went out the window. All technique, she was pawing at people, and that's kind of honestly, that's kind of what Mutante does in fights. And
Yeah.
Barroso is similar in that aspect to me. So, he panics when he gets hit. When he gets hit real hard, and he realizes, oh shit, this is real. He's in trouble. So I got Elvis knockout, and I know late replacement and all that, UFC debut. Those Bosnian guys, Russian guys, all those guys from that area of the world, they don't give a shit about UFC jitters. So
Nah,
he's
man.
gonna
They're
come
fighting
in ready to
bears.
go. Yeah, they're fighting bears and stuff, taking their female bears in the back. I'm just kidding. I'm not at all alleging any kind of bestiality going on. Anyway, so yeah, I'm taking.
Remember all the Russian people? It's Elaw 31 over
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Tweet me. It's okay. I don't understand Russian. You know what? I have people actually tweet me Russian, and they tweet me. Oh no, they hit me up on Periscope, and they'll be typing in. Characters like that, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying. And I always say, copy paste that shit in Google Translate, put it in English, and send it again, and I will respond gladly. But anyway, all right. Next fight on the Fight Pass, the early prelims. Rob Font against Joey Gomez. Gomez fancies himself the knockout king. I don't know. Who you got in this fight, man? 'Cause it's a weird fight to me. I don't like either guy, to be honest with you.
Honestly, I mean, if you look at Rob Font's record, his only real loss was to Desmond Green, a guy that hardcore older fans would recognize.
Yep.
Really, really, well-rounded striker. And he took him to, I believe, a decision in that one where he lost that fight. So to me, having a loss to a veteran like that and, taking the veteran all the way to a decision, not really getting overwhelmed by that guy. And most of his wins, even though they're pretty much nobodies, I mean, he's never really overwhelmed by anybody. He's never really surprised by anybody. Having a record of an 11-1, really, really showing what he's got. I think Font is going to be able to overwhelm Gomez here. Gomez, to me, is more of a headhunter, really. He's almost like a throwback fighter. Those types of guys that just kind of walks forward, plots forward, and then waits for one big punch to knock you out. When he lands, it's exciting. When he doesn't, he just kind of looks dumb, just swinging for nothing. So I think Rob Font's going to be able to avoid that big power and, really pick him apart and then probably either KO him, catch him on a counter or, take him down and just beat his face in. So.
Yeah, and Joey Gomez did the right thing by changing his nickname. You know what his nickname was before he got into the UFC? War Machine.
What was it? Jesus.
Yeah. I guarantee the UFC's like, look, we'll sign you to fight this one guy here on the prelims, but you got to change that nickname, dude. That's just, you should be smart. You should know not to do that. Like, do you not have the internet?
There's another guy that needs to change his name coming up in the next fight.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, definitely. All right. But here's the thing about Rob Font is on this long-ass fight win streak. Now, again, Desmond Green, if you guys don't know who he is, he's a killer. Did great things in Bellator, is doing great things in Titan FC up until his last fight. I forgot how he lost, but I know he lost. And so, Rob Font has fought pretty big names, and he's on a super long win streak, but he did knock out George Roop in his UFC debut. What was his July 2014. Yeah. So it's been a while since he fought. Keep in mind. And it was George Roop, who I don't even think is in the UFC anymore, if I'm not mistaken. Or have I heard his name recently? Oh, he fought in September.
Yeah, I think he won his last fight too.
No, he lost it by decision to Mizugaki. Okay.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. Well, regardless, I like Rob Font in this one. I think Joey, War Machine's gonna come in with ideas like, I'm gonna let my nickname be War Machine. With that kind of shit in your head, good luck, dude. He is a knockout guy. He likes to stand and fight. So Rob Font will likely. I mean, he's a durable dude, but I think he'd be smart to try and get it to the ground, depending on how confident he is in his ground game. But I'm gonna take Rob Font on that one. Who'd you pick?
Yeah, Rob Font. I think he's either gonna catch him throwing one of those big, dumb haymakers and counter him, or he's gonna pepper him and then take him down and beat his face in. One way or another, Rob Font's gonna win this one.
Yeah. All right, moving on here. Next fight, obviously a guy that people know about because he came in on last-minute replacement in the last UFC Boston event, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Charles Rosa, Boston Strong against Kyle Crash Bochniak. And the funny thing about him is that his nickname used to be Killer B. So I think Ben Saunders might have raised the flag on that, like, hey, dude, you know, you can't
Mm-hmm.
be, you ain't no killer bee. What the hell does that mean? So, actually, they're both Boston guys. I just read right here. Kyle's a local guy.
Yeah.
So, Kyle, undefeated, 6-0, and looks like he's got a nice little mixture: 2 knockout wins, 2 submission wins, 2 decision wins. So, just his record alone is not going to tell you what he's good at. He is a jiu-jitsu guy. He's a ground guy, right, with decent hands, from what I understand. Meanwhile, Charles Rosa, what he brings? That guy brings heart. That dude is all heart sometimes. He could be overmatched, physically overmatched and everything. He will still give you a real good fight. Did lose a split to Yair Rodriguez in June last year. But before that, he put a Bravo choke on Sean Soriano, right? And at McGregor Seaver, which people were cheering the hell out of that. That was crazy. Like, you don't see Bravo chokes every day, So I like this fight. I'm thinking Charles Rosa. Charles Rosa's gonna take it. He's at home. So the other guy, but Charles Rosa's at home. He's been in the UFC. For guys that aren't killer Russians and bear wrestlers and all that, UFC jitters is probably a real thing. So who are you picking on this one? I'm taking Charles.
Yeah, I think Charles, he's already comfortable in the octagon. He's past all those jitters and stuff, and fighting at home, it's a big thing. It's always, once you're comfortable with it, it's a good thing for you. But if you're not comfortable with it, you never do it, or you don't do it very often in front of a big crowd like this, it's going to be a bad thing. And I think that's what Kyle Killer B is going to run into. That's what they announced him as at the weigh-ins, by the way. So who knows if they did, if they're going to change that for fight night or not. But and if not, I think Ben Saunders is going to have to go down there, whoop his ass, and take that name.
Keep in mind that was Goldie. It was Goldie doing the weigh-ins. So
that's true.
we know Buffer, Bruce Buffer's on his game for the most part.
Yeah. But I mean, like you were saying, I mean, Charles Rosa, we know exactly what he's gonna do. He's not gonna, if he gets cracked, he's not gonna just fall down, give up. He's gonna keep finding a way to win this fight, and I don't think Kyle here has any way of really taking that away from him, especially at home. This crowd's gonna be loud for both of these guys, and I think Rosa's gonna pull off something amazing again.
Definitely. All right, next fight up. We get these guys are heavyweights, right? Not 205ers. Oh, they're 205ers. Okay.
No, 205ers.
I thought they were heavyweights for a second. But I remember Latifi trains with Gustafson, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, he's way shorter. All right, next fight: Ilir Latifi, the sledgehammer against Sean O'Connell, the real OC. I want O'Connell to lose for the nickname. Just lose because of the nickname. The real OC. What are we back in mid 2000s? The real Slim Shady's back. Like fucking A. Like. You need to look. Everyone complain. This is a real quick little tangent. People complain. Fighters complain. Conor McGregor is running the show. Conor McGregor gets paid too much money. Conor McGregor sells. The notorious Conor McGregor. He talks. He fights. He's a good fighter, but he talks. He makes everyone laugh. He jumps over the press conference table and takes the champion's belt and holds it up for everyone to see. He talks about he's gonna behead dudes here and there, and then of course you gotta back it up, and he does, right? But if you want to sell yourself, sell yourself. The real OC is not going to do it, O'Connell. All right? Get yourself some help. PR, creative writing, be friends with a comedian, something. Do something. All right? Every fighter needs to learn that. You want to market yourself? Market yourself. Don't just talk. Don't just, I'll be the real OC. Okay. Is Pitbull taken? I'll be Pitbull. Like, fuck, dude. Come on. That shit bothers the hell out of me. It really does. Anyway. So obviously, both of these guys, they're big dudes, and I'm pretty sure O'Connell has the height and the reach on Latifi. By the way, but at the weigh-ins, O'Connell pulls out a big thing of flowers and hands it to Latifi. I love those kind of weigh-ins. That you can do to market yourself, fellas. You want to market yourself? Do funny shit like that. Do fun stuff. People will like you. Crowds will like you.
That's O'Connell's thing, man. He loves to do different stuff like that. Remember, he took a selfie with his opponent. Interlaced his arms to drink some of their juice.
Oh, I love that. That was
he brings the fun.
Yeah, so that guy's fun. He kind of gets it, right? He knows he needs to sell himself. So he's got 4 fights in the UFC. He's 2-2, 2-fight win streak. I think he knocked out both Anthony Perosh, Matt Van Buren, if I'm not mistaken. I think I was talking about Van Buren a second ago. Who, by the way, got cut after that fight, even though he was promised another chance. He had a fight set up, and then he got cut. Because he got injured. That's one of the weirdest cuts I've seen. You know.
I think they found out that he could have fought, but he just chose not to. I think
Oh,
he did get
really?
cleared or something. Yeah, I
Wow.
think something like that happened. Don't quote me. Internet bad storm coming my way for saying something bad, but I think that's what
Yeah,
happened.
right. Don't worry. Yeah, I know you're trying with the hair, but you're not Ken Flo yet. You'll be all right. So, anyway, meanwhile, Latifi, we know Latifi. He's been around for a minute now. He did beat Hans Stringer last July by knockout in a fight where everyone was kind of like, dude, Hans just needs to retire. That looked really ugly, and it really did look ugly.
Yeah.
First round knockout with a minute left in the round. It's rough. Um, he likes to strike. The guy wants to stand with you. I mean, there's a reason he's a light heavyweight. He wants to stand with you. Not to mention, did you see him at the weigh-ins? He looked really good. Like he looked like he cut out fat. He looks ripped. He didn't look like he was dying. He looked healthy and it looked good. Like
Yeah.
there's a difference between a 205er and a heavyweight looking good at the weigh. Obviously, heavyweights don't even bother cutting unless they're Brock Lesnar, who's walking around at 310 or whatever the fuck. But if you're
Or
like a
Mark
205
Hunt.
or Mark Hunt, stuff like that, right? But usually
Yeah.
those guys look fine. They almost look bored when they go to the scale. But Latifi always looked chunky at the weigh-ins.
Yeah.
He looked ripped. He had muscles no one knew he had. I'm sure he didn't know he had them. And it turns out he's been training. He trained stateside at was it ATT? Do you know?
I don't remember, but yeah, he trained somewhere over here.
Yeah, he trained stateside for a while and got his food and his strength and conditioning in order. Dude looks good. I'm picking him just because he's gonna be faster. He's gonna be quicker, and it's that little bit of quickness and a little bit of speed that can make a huge difference in any fight. Meanwhile, and Sean O'Connell's not gonna be a lightning quick guy either. And honestly, I've seen Sean O'Connell kind of what's the word? Telegraph some of his stuff, so he could easily get knocked out. But who you got in this one?
Man, it's a tough pick for me because I see what you're saying about new camp, being in better shape, being rejuvenated and stuff. But honestly, sometimes to me that just signals that they know something's wrong and they just don't know what to fix. It could be themselves, it could be their camp, it could be people around them, and they're trying to find out what is the combination that's going to work. And to me, I think we all know Latifi, or at least I have seen Latifi as more of a one of those journeyman type fighters where you kind of place him here or there, in fights to kind of just book a card.
Yeah.
And that's what he seemed to me. He doesn't seem like a guy that's going to advance anywhere. Sean O'Connell, on the other hand, he's a smart dude. He has his own radio show. He wrote his own book. He's a smart guy, and I think he's going to come in with a smart game plan. But like you said, I just don't think that O'Connell is going to have enough of what he needs to beat Latifi. I don't think it's going to be an easy fight for either guy. I think both of these guys are almost evenly matched and not in physical form, and just like their lifestyle. I mean, Latifi, he's trying to figure out what to do, how to change things. He's probably adjusting things here and there, learning new stuff. And O'Connell, he's so busy. Who knows how well he can actually get, into training, how he can get everything done.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, both of those factors on each one make them, pretty much, it's a pick 'em fight for me. And honestly, I just think Latifi's going to be able to win this fight, just squeaking by, I think. I think it's going to be a lot closer fight than most people assume.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, O'Connell's kind of a guy that charges forward, and Latifi's a guy that kind of, doesn't let you push him back, right? He'll do his best to hold his ground, and he will throw bombs to do it. So, yeah, I'm still taking Latifi too. I don't think it's as close as you think it is. I think it's a little bit. I think Latifi has the advantage, I think, in this one. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think hopefully Latifi really did learn something in his new camp. But again, all these factors they're kind of tough to weigh and see what's better and what's not. But again, I mean, you look at this card and how it's been set up, from the beginning down.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up to this main card on Fight Pass, in the next fight, all these fights are just going forward, gonna be real good fights, evenly matched people that are just gonna come forward and probably knock each other out. So
yeah, I was looking at my phone and I'm getting a ridiculous amount of tweets, like mentions, and I looked up to the TV. I have Seahawks Panthers over here, and it's 21-31 with a minute 30 seconds or so left in the game, and Seattle's got the ball at like the 20 or the 15, whatever it is. This game's getting insane. So if you got the TV on right now, I don't blame you. I really don't. This is A minute 26, 21-31, second and 10 for the Seahawks. And they're storming back. They storming back big time in this game, especially when they were losing 31-0 at halftime. So apologize, a little bit of football talk on this one. Anyway, Joker on YouTube saying Illyria is tough too. He took Musashi to decision when he only had a week's notice. He had 4 days notice for that fight. I remember that. He had 4 days to train for that, and he took him to decision. I was impressed with the TV for sure. I was sitting there going, "Whoa, this dude." He also says, "I remember this." He's talking about you. He goes, "I remember this guy now. He picked PBZ to run through roads." Shake my head. You're never gonna outlive that one with it. But at least not with Joker. Joker's gonna let you know about that one every time. Anyway, all right. Next fight up, we're all excited about. I don't know anyone that's not excited about this fight because last time you saw Paul Felder, it was a hell of a fight. Paul Felder against Jared Cruikshank, the Irish Dragon against the Detroit Superstar. I'm still laughing at that. We were talking about that before that. I don't know if we should throw that out there like that, but that's not my business. Anyway.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, both guys are coming off losses. It's a crazy matchup, and they both like to stand. You know what I mean? So you're hoping they stay on the feet the entire time, right? And we get like a crazy war. And if Felder has his way, by the way, that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna be on the feet the whole time. So I'm calling this my underdog fight of the night. I'm gonna have an underdog fight of the night and a likely fight of the night in this one because there's just too many good fights in this one to think. So I'm gonna take this as my underdog fight of the night. But to me, it's I know who I want to pick, and then to me the common sense pick is way closer than I think. So who you got in this one?
It's a tough fight. Both of these guys like to throw.
Flying Brian on YouTube just gave it the perfect name for this fight. The Spinning Shit Championship. This is gonna be perfect. Dude, Brian, you get 100% credit for that. That's fucking perfect way to describe this fight.
That's so true. Man, I flipped the coin and I have to stick with what because I mean both of these guys real even fight. Yeah. I just think Cruikshank has the more experience to really be able to neutralize what Paul Felder is going to do, and he has a couple good blueprints from his previous last 2 fights where he saw where Felder was stifled by and what made him kind of second guess him throwing all the spinning stuff that he likes to do. And I think if Cruikshank is smart enough, he's going to utilize his reach, his kicks, keep him at distance, and if he's going to get close to really throw those spinning elbows that he likes to throw, he's going to get in close and not let Felder really set up his range in anything. So I think Cruikshank can do that. But this fight's going to be a war. If it goes less than a round, I'm going to be happy and surprised because I think both of these guys are durable enough to really dish out the damage to each other and just stay in the pocket and really throw hard. So, and I think the thing that makes it the hardest for me is that if Paul Felder loses, that's 3 in a row that he's lost, and that is going to suck. I know. And I think he's got his back against the wall and he's got to do something. So hopefully we don't get the Paul Felder that's kind of gun shy. Hopefully he comes in swinging for the fences right away. So.
And the thing is, look, the way I'm picking this fight it's not. I don't want to say it's simple. Cruikshank is a guy that comes in who clearly has a plan, right? He always clearly has a plan, and it looks like from the beginning of the fight, it's like he's sticking to a plan. You know what I mean? You're almost yelling at him like, "Hey, do something," and he's sitting back. No, my game plan's to wait. All right, cool, whatever. Stick to your game plan. And then out of nowhere, he does some crazy shit that makes no sense and gets knocked out or gets beat or gets taken down or whatever. Like, he's just one of those guys that just doesn't – he sticks to the game plan, and then his brain goes, oh, ADD, let's go, throw a punch here, does the wrong shit, And Felder's a counterpuncher who's smart. I ain't going to say spinning back fist, spinning everything, spinning shit championship like Brian was saying, but I'm going to take Felder on his counterpunching, really, and being patient and waiting for Cruikshank to make a stupid move, which he will do. He does at least 1 or 2 a fight, win or lose. And I think Felder takes advantage of it and knocks him out. Regardless, if this goes 3 rounds, it's just a crazy war. Cool. If it goes 1 round, someone gets knocked out, whatever. What do you expect? But yeah, the Spinning Shit Championship is going to be legit for sure. All right, so that's your Fight Pass prelims. Again, they kick off in about an hour 40 minutes from now, right? Yeah, about an hour and 40 minutes from now. 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. 5 fights. Honestly, if you have Fight Pass, you have Fight Pass anyway, watch them. But it's actually good fights on Fight Pass for once. So. All right, FS1 prelims kick off 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern. With this fight was supposed to be somebody else, and I was super excited for it. Dennis Bermudez got hurt, injured, pulled out, and they were looking for a replacement. They found one, and I'm intrigued by this one. They replaced him with Luke Sanders from is it RFA champ, I think that's what he was.
Yeah, I think so.
He was an RFA, and so I watched some of his fights. The guy's got hands. He can throw. He can fight. Right, taking on a guy who loves brawls, Maximo Blanco. This is going to be a good fight. I really think. I think if Luke Sanders had a longer notice, it'd be a much better fight. But I'm going to lean towards Maximo Blanco on this one. But it's, I don't know. I just hope they both stand the whole time. I mean, Luke's got a couple sub wins on his record, but I just, I hope Maximo Blanco as well hopes, but I hope just like everyone else is doing is that it stays on the Maximo Blanco plan and becomes a brawl. Who you got in this one?
I hope Dana White goes in the back, cuts everybody like 10 grand,
Mm-hmm.
and then tells them, I'll give you another 10 grand as long as nobody goes to the ground and you just throw for the fences tonight. Because that's the only way we're going to get exciting fights. And I think most of these guys really are going to do that without that extra check, but it'd be nice to reward them for, the excess brain damage they're probably going to take.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I think Luke hits hard. But I just think Maximo's got the wily skills of a veteran to be able to avoid a lot of those big shots. I think the only way that Luke Sanders can really win here is if he catches Maximo, slipping or trying something a little different and getting caught. And it's not to say that Luke Sanders is not a good fighter. It's to say that I just think the jitters are going to get to him in this fight. I'm going to agree with you. I think Maximo gets it done.
Definitely. And real quick, giving you guys an update. Seahawks kicked the field goal. It's 24-31, but they were not able to secure an onside kick. So 28 seconds left, and just one more need to go, and this game's over. So Carolina moving on to play my Arizona Cardinals in Carolina. You lucky bastards that you guys get a home game. So now someone threw a flag. What the hell's going on?
See, this is why football is exciting. The last quarter, the last 30 seconds of,
It's Carolina.
of the games.
It's Carolina. What the hell? I mean, it's not going to give the Seahawks the ball, but still. All right, this is a weird fucking game. Anyway, sorry, and I like football way too much, and I'm like, oh, I gotta look. A couple comments here talking about the Felder fight. Joker says Felder looks like he's gonna take the W, and Cruikshank probably headed to Bellasuck or W Suck OF.
I don't think so. I don't think they'd let that guy go. He's too exciting.
Yeah, you gotta hang on to those guys that are willing to stand and fight. But I'm with you. I hope Dana White goes in the back and goes, look, 10+ grand for each person if they just don't go to the ground. Please don't go to the ground.
No takedowns, no hugging, just standing in front of each other. Robbie Lawler and Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, just be like Robbie Lawler fighting himself. Just do that. And then Mike Jarp saying, finally can comment on your chat. There you go, Mike. And he says should be a war between Felder and Cruikshank. I expect it to be as well. So at least that's what we're hoping.
See, this is what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for such a good fight, and we get something finishes really fast on the card that they replay it later on. Because I think everybody needs to see that fight. People that don't have Fight Pass, they need to see that fight. That fight's going to be really good.
All right, game time. Carolina wins 31-24. Going to be Panthers Cardinals. Bring it on, bitches. I'm ready. Of course, it's going to be in their house, so I can't really talk too much shit. Anyway. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm picking Maximo Blanco on this one. I think Luke Sanders could pull out some kind of upset if he's able to come. Again, he's got hands. He's knocked dudes out before. If he's able to find some kind of opening for a big punch, he could hurt Blanco and knock him out, finish him TKO style. But I don't see it happening. Not on the big stage UFC. All right, moving on. Chris Wade against Mehdi Baghdad, the Sultan. You guys remember Baghdad from Tough? He was injured and then he fought and then he was injured, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He fought. He got robbed. Then he was injured. And he was able to fight in the Tough finale. Wait, was he the guy that got hurt and they brought somebody back?
I think so. I think they brought the guy that he beat or something.
Was it Artem?
Yeah, he beat Artem, I think. Wasn't it? I don't know. It worked out some way where the guy that he beat ended up coming back or something, I think.
I'll be honest. I didn't watch much of Tough. I actually stuck to watching the highlights of whatever McGregor said on the YouTube. That's kind of all I cared for anyway. But there was a few guys, especially the guy that won, Ryan
Hall?
There you go. Ryan Hall winning that thing. He won the whole thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he sucks.
Whatever, dude. That jiu-jitsu's
Sorry.
nasty. I saw
Mm.
that jiu-jitsu's
The
nasty.
the guy that he was supposed to fight in his place
Which gonna be better, but he got busted.
neutralized him
Mhm.
so easy. You know, it really looked bad for Ryan. But yeah, that sucks that he's not even going to be able to get a chance to fight in the UFC probably forever.
Well, the visa issue, he lied about something, or he didn't write something down. He didn't check a box somewhere,
Yeah,
and they were like,
yeah, he
"Nah,
lied
dude,
about something on his past or something. So
probably." All right. So Chris Wade against Manny Baghdad. Chris Wade, we know a little bit of. Um, dude's fought I think 3 times now in the UFC. Is undefeated in the UFC. He's got one loss. Fucking, it looks like in 2013, and but he hasn't beat any huge names. King Carrizosa, Li Peng Zhang, Christos Giagos is probably the biggest name he's beat, and he beat him by decision in June last year at Hendo Bosch. So it's a weird fight for me to pick. I want to pick Baghdad, but I'm gonna take Chris Wade on this one. Who you got?
I agree. I just don't think Baghdad's got anything that's going to be spectacular here. I mean, this is basically the UFC throwing him a bone and being like, "Hey, here's a chance that you missed out on," and you know that's probably going to be it. So, meh.
Yeah. Um, Meanwhile,
Go
Chris
go get beer and food during this fight.
probably, you know what? Yeah, here's the thing. Baghdad's not bad. He's not bad. He can surprise you a little bit. You know, he's I'm pretty sure he's a kickboxer, if I'm not mistaken. So, but yeah, when he fought RFA, fought a WFC Bama Gladiator Challenge. By the way, I love the names of some of these promotions. Gladiator Challenge. I'm
There's
not
some
making
fun
fun
ones
of
out
it.
there.
Yeah, there's some fun one. I'm saying it's a fun one, right? But anyway, the Frenchman's fighting at a Black House now, I think in Cali. So
Yeah.
it's an interesting fight. It's a nice fight. You know, you're like, oh, I don't know, these guys just sit down. But I'm with you. I'm grabbing beer and chips and a burger or some hot dog during this fight. I'm not disrespecting the fighters at all. I'm just not expecting much out of them. But I'm gonna take Chris Wade on it. Just honestly, just almost off of just experience. All right, next fight. I'm not very excited about. Maybe you can convince me otherwise. Joker's kind of. Joker says on the YouTube comment says Ryan Hall implemented some crazy jiu-jitsu. Plus Artem has a 50-50 record. He's a joke. I'm with you on the Artem thing. I'm with him on
Look,
the Artem thing.
Artem, the only thing he knows how to do is put his hands down, walk forward, and try to hit you really, really hard. That's basically all he does. You know, Ryan Hall, his 50-50 position is amazing. But
Dirty.
if he can't get there, he's got nothing
Fuck.
after that. And he talked a big game saying that he's got so many things and that people don't even know what he's going to pull. And when he fought that last fight to get to the end, he got completely shut down. He had nothing out of the 50-50 position. So, yeah, go suck on that.
Again, I like Ryan Hall, but I'd rather see him in like EBI or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's where
Real
he
quick.
would shine.
Yeah, he would kill it there. Now here's something I want to ask you something about real quick. Cause now you just talking about EBI reminded me. Meta Morris, you see that thing not like a few days ago or a little bit over a week ago maybe?
The thing
Where
you were talking about, that guy that took over their Instagram account?
did we talk about it already on the show?
No, you were talking about it on your show on
Oh yeah.
Spreaker presented by Spreaker for Spreaker by
Stop hating,
Spreaker.
dude. Stop hating. All right, I'm working. Anyway, but here's the thing. So I forgot the name of the fellow of the gentleman, but Meta Morris messed up and gave one of their guys control over their Instagram, and that was a big mistake because they picked one of the guys that haven't paid in forever.
Why would you do that? That's so stupid.
He went on there and started saying like Meta Morris don't pay nobody and everything. So then Meta Morris got Hella Gracie and Meta Morris got a slew of shit at him for not paying, rightfully so, mind you, rightfully so, for not paying their fighters because this is not the first guy. It's not the second guy. It's not the third guy. It's like the 15th guy since they haven't got paid. So Hella Gracie came out yesterday on Twitter and said, I apologize. I'm learning as I go. I should pay them on time. And I'm sitting there going, who told you to say that stupid shit? Like, he should shut up, cut the check, and send it. He just do that, just cut the check and send it, and then everyone will stop saying that shit. But he's already screwed Meta Morris like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
First of all, the rules alone for Meta Morris, compared to now that EBI is out and it started getting bigger, you know what I mean? The rules for Meta Morris are boring. I loved it, and I loved jiu-jitsu, and I loved it before EBI showed up. And then the rules for EBI, overtimes and all that, and a way to find a winner instead of getting a draw, to me, kind of kill Meta Morris. But this whole thing on not paying your fighters is just a bad move.
That and the fact that, I think Brendan was talking about it on one of the shows, talking about how, they were trying to hold contracts and have people not fight, anywhere else,
That
or
annoyed
do
the fuck out
jujitsu
of
anywhere
me.
else
Uh,
because who was it? They were trying to hold back Gary Tonin, right? I think
yeah,
it was
Tony
Gary
tried
Tonin.
to sign Tony, and Tony's like, he ain't doing it to me, and he just
Yeah,
backed
see,
off.
so I mean, I don't know, man. I think they need to hire a really smart guy to do just the promotional stuff or just give them better ideas. Maybe hire Brendan Schaub over there or something. Somebody that, knows the game, knows how to really promote stuff well and really clean up what I don't know, man. I don't even know who you could even, bring to the table to really clean that up because they've made a big mess over there. I mean, and think about it. They had really big people coming to their shows.
Mm-hmm.
Chael Sonnen. Who else was it? Some of the Gracies. They even had Eddie Bravo, right?
Yeah,
Eddie Bravo was
Bravo,
over there.
Bravo and Hoyler was to me the best match they've had ever, and it ended in a draw, and nobody cared. It was the greatest match they've had ever.
Draw because I think we
Yeah.
all knew who won.
Oh hell yeah, Eddie fucked him up, but again, those rules,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
So
whatever.
yeah. So I'm hoping Metamorphosis, the good at jiu-jitsu, honestly, they hurt the sport that way. That kind of stuff hurts the sport.
Yeah,
Um,
look at Glory. I mean, they have a couple bad shows where people just really don't show up, and everybody forgets about Glory.
yeah,
And you still have really good fighters, Nikki Holskin, Raymond Daniels, all those guys that are really exciting, really good. They don't get the credit they deserve because they have a bunch of morons that don't know how to promote it, don't know how to really present the exciting style, and they take away some of their weapons. No elbows, no clinching, all this stuff, and you're just like, you're just ruining the sport.
yep. And
So
and
watch line fights.
yeah,
You're
watch
welcome,
line
Andy.
fights. There you go. Mike Jarv saying Halleck fucked over fans, fighters, and employees. Agreed. And he also
Yeah.
says EPI is the best platform for grappling. I think so too.
And didn't Metamoris their last event they had no crowd or something? That's
How
what really
awful was that,
pissed
dude?
everybody off.
It was so bad. Like I tweeted over, because somebody won something. Of course, I watched it, and I tweeted over, at Metamorph, and the crowd goes, "Oh wait," and they actually put it on the air, like on the show, and they read it out loud. And like my tweet, and I laughed all hard because I'm like, "Who is screening the tweet? My tweet should have never gotten through. My
No.
tweet should have never been on screen, and it was right there, and everybody was like it got retweeted like 100 times. I was like. I'm just speaking truth. Everyone's it's an awful thing to see. Why would you watch a football game with no crowd in it? First of all, that's indication of a bad football game. But second, it's boring. You need some kind of
Yeah.
excitement. You know what I mean? Like I love
Yeah.
when like at a basketball game, if someone gets dunked on nasty, the whole crowd goes, oh, freaking out and shit. I love that. But if Michael Jordan dunked on Kobe Bryant and when he was still playing, dunked on Kobe Bryant in the nastiest way possible, and there was no crowd, nobody gave a shit. It wouldn't even make top 10 Sports Center. So
Yeah.
you need a crowd. But EBI is doing this thing in Mexico. The next event, 50 grand, 50 grand to the person that finishes the subs that wins by submission, that submits every opponent. I think is what it is.
I think it's time to become friends with Gary Tonin.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, yeah. Hey, teach me some of them leg locks, dude. I want to be an EBI. Them leg locks are nasty. All right, next fight. We came back here in UFC Boston. Tim Bosch against Ed Herman. And again, not excited at all for this fight. I'm hoping
This is how not excited you are about this fight. We had to go on a tangent to something more exciting.
something different. Yeah, Tim Bosch. Here's the thing. I don't like either guy. I mean, not that I dislike them. I just don't like watching them. They're not entertaining to watch. To me, not entertaining to watch at all. Dan Henderson's got 2 losses in a row. Got triangle choked by Talas Leites, and then got knocked out by Dan Henderson. I mean, the thing is, when you lose to Dan Henderson, but first of all, is Dan Henderson 100% respect, one of the best ever, actually most entertaining ever. I'll say that much in MMA. But he's got one move, and you can't do anything about it. You know what I mean? Like you're a wrestler, you can't. Look, let's be honest. Dan Henderson doesn't wrestle for shit anymore. Okay.
Nope.
You can't take him down. You can't put him on his back. Be like, okay, yeah, throw that H-bomb off your back, bitch. You can't do nothing, knock him over or anything. And so Tim Bosch to me is like, ugh. Every time I see that he's even booked for a fight, I'm like, ugh. Meanwhile,
I don't know, man. Let me tell you, I used to be a semi fan, I guess. I was a cheerleader of Tim Boach, just because I thought that he had potential to do something.
he did.
And
He
then
did, and he screwed it up.
and then he got single arm barred or whatever by Phil Davis, and I was like, okay, well, he's not going to amount to anything because he got literally raped by Phil Davis, and
Mm-hmm.
pretty much his career's kind of been on a landslide since then. I think this is at 205, and I think they were talking about how Tim Boetsch wanted a fight in between another fight that he might have soon at a different
Yeah.
weight class at 185, and I'm like, who cares, man? Honestly, just fight out your contract and go retire, go hunting, go do something. Tim Boetsch looks like he's old. He's not that old, but he looks really old. And his
Yeah.
style of fighting looks like he's always tired. It looks like he's already tired just,
He is always tired,
starting the
man.
fight, Ed Herman, short fuse. Terrible, terrible, terrible nickname.
First of all, if anyone
Um,
needs a haircut right now, it's Ed Herman.
yeah, with the man bun.
Looking like Fred Kirby on that bitch. Come on now.
Oh no, don't talk about Fred Kirby.
Oh, I shit
That
on Fred's
cool
hair
man.
all the time. He don't even care. That guy. You think about Fred. Look, if you guys want to hit Fred up on Twitter and say the most meanest, evil shit you could think of, he'll find a way to spin it around, laugh at you, and then just say something stupid. Like he doesn't. The guy is unbreakable. Fred, you cannot fuck with Fred Kirby. That guy's got the thickest skin on the planet. I don't understand it. And he lives probably in one of the shittiest places in Ohio ever. I'm just like, dude, you can't hurt this guy. You can't hurt this guy. It just doesn't matter. He's tailor-made. You know what? Fred Kirby should be famous on Twitter because he's tailor-made for it. That guy should be like the #1 account followed because that guy, you cannot do anything to hurt him at all. The guy is bulletproof when it comes to verbal shit. It's so easy for him to just shake it off. But again, cut your hair, Kirby and Ed Herman. Cut your hair. Come on now. Sorry, but yeah, go ahead.
Who's gonna win this fight? I don't know. Not the crowd. That's definitely who's not gonna win. The only person that I think could probably win this fight is probably gonna be Ed Herman, just because he's had a little bit of time off, and he's got a little bit of more well-rounded skill by comparison to his opponent. And I say that as in like barely more well-rounded. So yeah. This fight is not going to be something that you write home to. You're not going to show this to your friends saying that this is what MMA is all about. But I think it should end pretty violently.
You know what? Ed Herman should be smart. When he gets older, he has kids. I don't know if he has kids yet, so I'm not talking about his kids. I'm talking about Ed Herman, okay? But if he ever has kids, and he tries to tell him, hey, I used to fight. Oh, yeah? Well, can we see some of your fights? I would show him Conor McGregor fights and just tell him that you gained a ton of weight after your career. Yeah, I was this guy. He's like, whoa, Dad, you were awesome. I know. When did you grow your ponytail? Oh, you don't worry about it. Anyway, so I beat this guy. I knocked him out in 13 seconds. That's what I'm Ed Herman. I do that shit. Couple comments here on YouTube before I talk about Ed Herman real quick. Another fight. Joker says another fight where whoever loses gets cut. This one's serious. I think so too. And then Fred Kirby. He says Fred Kirby loves taking those close-up face shots. Again, you can't hurt Fred Kirby, man. Say whatever you want. Yeah. Photoshop, but
I think I did mention that. Waking up in the morning and seeing Fred Kirby's like half-naked face and like half-naked body is not a good thing to wake up to. But
I'll tell you what, you could Photoshop a dick on Fred Kirby's face and he wouldn't give a fuck. He'd laugh about it. And Mike says Kirby's one of a kind, 100%. Now here's the thing about Ed Herman, man. Ed Herman should, in most of his fights, should be taking him to the ground. This guy thinks. Mm-hmm. Remember when everyone was saying Ronda Rousey is the Mike Tyson of MMA or women's MMA, and then we show our shadow box and we're like, I don't know, but hey, maybe with the girls. Ed Herman thinks he's a boxer, and he's not. He's absolutely not. And he thinks he could. He thinks he can pull off some Rocky shit in a fight because he'll get into stand-ups that he has no business to be in, right? So I mean, I'll give you an example just off his record here. If I can get my computer to work. Oh great, I pulled up freaking Tim Boetsch. Every time I see Tim Boetsch shirt dog, I get upset. I'm just like, dude, you're awful. But let's look at it.
Some of the wins that he's pulled off is so stupid. You're like, how did he win that fight? Like when he beat what was it, the Asian guy, Yushin Okami?
That was
how
depressing.
the hell did he win that fight? How?
Yeah, but I mean, even with Derek Brunson, Ed Herman got into a stand-up thing and got TKO'd. And that was stupid. Ed Herman is a ground guy. Do what you do, man. Take it to the ground. He didn't do it. So I know you're picking Ed Herman. I'm picking Tim Boetsch. I'm picking Tim Boetsch by accident. How's that? Via accident. Just because he somehow finds a way to get it. And it really is.
Are we going to go with Tyron Woodley's now new way of winning fights, slipping on a banana peel and winning?
Exactly. He'll get. You know what? Tim Boetsch will get a title shot after this or something. I don't know. I'm kidding. He's never going to do that. Yeah. All right, next fight
Moving
up.
on to the next fight, that's going to be more exciting than the last one we talked about.
Way more exciting. Way more exciting. Patrick Cote against Ben Saunders. They're the featured prelim FS1. Now we know Ben Saunders is a jiu-jitsu dude. You know what I mean? And here's the thing. I've seen videos of him rolling on YouTube, and he's ridiculously flexible. So like it shouldn't be humanly possible to do what he does. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. You ever seen Eddie Bravo? We saw Eddie Bravo roll with Hoyler, right? Eddie Bravo.
Yeah.
Like some people when they had to put their leg behind their head. They had to grab it and stretch it and strain and put it behind there. Eddie Bravo could literally do it without using his hands and put his leg behind his head. It's ridiculous. Ben Saunders is almost like that as far as flexibility goes. And jiu-jitsu prowess is what he does. He's a jiu-jitsu guy. But Patrick Cote, I'm not a fan of, and I hate to use the word overrated, but he's kind of overrated. A lot of people were talking about him being great, but last 2 wins, a decision against Joe Riggs. First of all, if you go to decision with Joe Riggs, come on. Joe Riggs should have bought a lottery ticket the next day or the night of, because he'd be rich right now. Okay, because that makes no sense. And then he TKO'd Josh Bergman, but who doesn't? Okay, come on. And then gets decision by Stephen Thompson. I get that one. He decisions Kyle Noke, right? Did I get it right?
Nope. Yeah.
Did I fuck it up again?
No, it's good. Okay. Where's Andy?
I'm so self-conscious about the Noke thing now. It's so stupid. Bobby Volker by decision. Alessio Sakara by disqualification, which we haven't seen. And that one was by punches to the back of the head against Sakara. Have we seen anything like that recently? Because I don't remember one. And I've seen plenty of punches to the back of the head. Yeah. So I've never been. Yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, Patrick Cote is a bad motherfucker, he's a predator and all that shit. And I'm just like, overrated. It's all right. He just is. So, and Ben Saunders, I mean, I think he fought Joe Riggs too, didn't he? Yeah, he beat Joe Riggs by TKO in Phoenix.
Yeah, Joe Riggs broke his own neck trying to take him down.
That was hilarious, to be honest with you, because I was in the second level of what was then United Airways Center, United Airlines Center, whatever. And I was looking down and saw Joe Riggs try to take down, and then the fight stops, and everyone's going, and the whole crowd was like, "What the fuck just happened?" And Joe's just like holding his neck and shit, and we're sitting there going, did that fight really just end that way? Because right before that, right before that was another Phoenix guy, Arizona guy. Talks with a lisp, WEC champion. Fuck. I make fun of his star tattoos all the time because they're gay, and I told him to his face, and he got mad. What is his name? Wow.
Joey Varner?
Huh?
Or Jamie Varner?
Jamie Varner, thank you. Jamie Varner, and he had the same thing happened with Jamie Varner, some freak accident injury, and the fight ended just in a weird way. So, that 2 of the same card was awkward. But I'm gonna take Ben Saunders by submission here. I mean, I like Ben Saunders. I like Killer B, but it's gonna be a fun fight. What you got?
I wish I could do a very good French Canadian accent, but I can't, so I'm not even gonna try. But I think you're semi-right. I think a lot of people do hold Patrick Cote in really high regard. Yeah. But he's pretty good. He's well-rounded. He doesn't really get overwhelmed too often in, any exchange that he's in. And he fights really, really smart. He doesn't, overextend himself. He doesn't, make too many mistakes. That being said, he doesn't take too many risks for him to make mistakes. So I just think that this is going to be a long, drawn-out fight where Ben Saunders is going to be going to his jiu-jitsu game, trying to open him up, trying to find ways, and I think Patrick Cote is going to survive a lot of those encounters, but I think eventually Ben Saunders is going to find a way to submit him. So Ben Saunders, winner, submission somehow.
Yep, that's what I'm taking. Hopefully some kind of like crazy, something like omoplata or something we don't see. Or something electric chair. Hey, you know what'd be funny is Bruce Buffer going, hey man, what was that submission? He has to explain it to him. By electric chair, what the hell? And so whatever. So real quick, Anik was supposed to call the fights tonight with Anik, I think, or Goldberg.
Anik was supposed to fight.
No, Florian. Sorry, Florian.
Really?
Kemple was supposed to even last week. Oh, is it Brian Stan?
Oh no, wait, maybe they were. I don't really remember.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Brian Stan in there with Goldberg more than likely, because Goldberg was at the weigh-ins for some reason. I don't think it'll be Goldberg, Joe Rogan. I don't think.
No, Joe's not gonna be there.
Joe's there. No, I mean Joe's there. He's in Boston, but I think he went to go with TJ. Him and Dwayne Bang, Joe, Dwayne, and TJ are good friends apparently. So yeah,
They're good
yeah,
friends.
yeah, they're butt buddies. I don't know. I don't even hate on Joe Rogan. The hate I see on Joe Rogan on Twitter is always hilarious. I always laugh about
It's
it
ridiculous.
because some of the stuff is stupid. He's like, oh, Joe Rogan obviously biased, and I'm sitting there going, hey, dude, don't worry about it. It's not like the judges listening. You know what I mean? They don't have the broadcast in their ears. All right, main card. Again, FS1 prelims. If you don't really care to watch Fight Pass prelims, something's wrong with you if you don't. And you have your phone with you, so if you're out of the house, you have no excuse. But FS1 prelims, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Main card starts at 10 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, East Coasters. I know you probably have to work tomorrow, and that sucks for you. So
Too
think
bad.
about it. Yeah,
Losers.
too bad. Sure, you live on the wrong coast, bitch. 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Kicked off with which should be. And here's the thing. Every time I hear the name Ross Pearson, I'm like, all right, cool. He's gonna stand, and it's gonna be fun if you give him someone that stands. Francisco Trinaldo will stand with you, right? But Ross Pearson has just disappointed me the last 3 fights at least, if not more. So who you getting in this one, man?
I think Ross. Honestly, I just think his boxing is too crisp, too it's laser focused what he does. He's very, very capable, and he doesn't make those dumb mistakes that a lot of people make when they're boxing. He keeps a high defense. He looks for the counters. He's always throwing out that jab. He's just got really good technical boxing, and I think that's what's gonna win him the day as long as he keeps it up. If he just kind of stalls out or tries to do something different, like in his last couple fights where he tries to mix in takedowns or do something, kind of stupid, or just not be as, not throw as much volume, not work as much, not put the pressure, he's going to lose. But as long as he keeps moving forward, keeping the pressure, keep that crisp boxing in Trinaldo's face, he's going to win this fight.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Pearson beat Felder. We saw it last fight. That was a bullshit decision. Let's be honest. That was garbage. Felder won that fight. But again, don't let it go to the judges. Yeah. And you're right. He's a pressure guy. He keeps the pressure up. Trinaldo's gonna panic and do something stupid and get knocked. He could get finished, but I don't think he's gonna be a finish anywhere. When's the last time we saw Ross Pearson finish anybody? You know what I mean?
Been a while, I think.
Yeah, decision against Paul Felder, the win, split. No, I wouldn't count that, but whatever. Evan Dunham lost by decision. He knocked out Sam Stout in the second round, which surprised everybody for sure. Got TKO'd by Alec Quinta, TKO'd Maynard, but this is back in 2014, right? So his last two fights were decisions. He's not a guy that's gonna go for the finish, or maybe he can't go to the finish. I don't know, but I'm gonna take Ross Pearson by decision. But again, if he doesn't pressure Trinaldo can't beat him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trinaldo has been known to pull off some BS before. That makes zero sense. Oh, okay. Joker says on YouTube that Rogan is calling the fights.
Really?
That's
Fox Sports
a weird
1, huh?
one. I wonder why. I think maybe. Let me see. Let me see if I can find Rogan's Twitter. I know, I was totally breaking the fourth wall and shit, but.
Well, while you do that, I'll talk about Travis Brown against what is it? A shoeless Matt Brown or Matt Mitrione, we'll call him. Shoeless Matt Mitrione.
He's right. Hold up, he's right. Joe Rogan tweeted, "No, I'm doing commentary tonight." Okay.
Is he also one of those guys that's trying to work out his contract real fast, or what?
Hey, you never know. The dude's talking about. I don't know if I'm coming back. I might just want to do comedy. Because I guarantee you right now, in that next contract meeting with the UFC, some Reebok rep's gonna be there going, "We need you to start wearing on it." And Joe's gonna look at him and be like, "I have fuck you money. Go fuck yourself." And he's gonna walk out. But but he is doing. He's not doing a fight companion. Like I was kind of hoping he was gonna do one. They're actually really good shows that they do.
Those are fun.
Shab Callan, especially when Eddie Bravo shows up, I love those because he always talks about aliens and conspiracies and shit. But
and they always make stupid bets.
The bets are awesome. You kidding me? The bets are so good, and Eddie Bravo nearly always loses every single one. So it's always funny to see him go shit. But anyway, sorry. Let's get back to the fights. Yeah, you're right. Next fight up, Travis Brown against Matt Mitrione. Matt Mitrione, meathead. We saw
Matt Mitrione.
Dude, change his nickname right now. Shoeless Matt Mitrione is perfect. All right. Because look, think about it. if I'm at Mitrione and I go, hey, look, my new nickname is Shoeless, because then all the people on Twitter that hate Reebok are gonna just support this guy because his nickname's Shoeless. Imagine that kind of popularity. Again, fighters, use your heads. PR, market yourself. Shoeless Matt Mitrione. Do it.
I think we should just start our own PR firm here.
Seriously, dude, we can get paid. Anyway, Matt Mitrione against Travis Brown. Travis Brown, obviously, the biggest thing with him recently is Ronda Rousey and Edmund Trevor, however say his last name.
You mean the Count?
The Count, thank you, Edmund the Count. Lost his last fight against Andre Arlovski. He hasn't fought since May of last year. That fight, that just crazy first round he had with Andre that gave Andre basically a road right to Stipe and get knocked out. But Travis Brown, to me, before Edmund, could easily beat Matt Mitrione. And the other thing on it, in my opinion, the other thing with it too is Matt Mitrione has something to fight for. This is his last fight in his contract. He's taking this gamble, right? And this has been publicized pretty recently, but been pretty well publicized. Matt Mitrione declined to sign an extension with the UFC because he's taking a gamble. He's going to win this fight big, and then he's going to beat who's the number 4 guy, number 6 guy, whatever he is, number 6 guy in the heavyweight division, right?
I was going to say I thought he was like number 2 just because he's dating Ronda.
You never know. Ronda's like, hey Dana, change that ranking, But Matt Mitrione's kind of banking on, look, if I beat this guy, I'm going to get a payday. He would probably deserve it because Matt Mitrione has no business beating a Travis Brown before Edmund. After Edmund, it's a little different. Edmund, look, I don't like talking about people too much in like a negative light unless like they really deserve it. And
unless it's Dushwani.
I will shit talk Dushwani, who by the way blocked me on Twitter recently. Not a loss, but I find it funny that he actually had to go to my profile and hit block. I love that shit. I love that about it though. Now I know why Davey Boy just gets off so much on getting blocked by people. It's fucking amazing to think that someone you actually dislike. And Davey doesn't dislike other people he gets blocked by the way. But it's a weird, like, almost gratifying feeling with someone that you dislike, that you disrespect because he disrespects a profession that you studied. In journalism is what he calls it. He thinks what he does is journalism. It's not. Whatever. But, when you dislike somebody so much, it's gratifying to know they had to go look at your face with the picture that I have on my Twitter right now, by the way. It's hilarious. That he had to go to that and hit block. Like, that to me is a win. I don't give a shit that I got blocked. It's fucking great. I know it's some keyboard warrior shit that I'm saying right now, but for real, it was great. It was hilarious. I got a really good laugh out of it. But anyway, sorry. But I think Travis Brown before Edmund and would easily beat Matt Mitrione. I think Ronda Rousey before Edmund could have done most of what she did in her career so far. I think so. With a different, you know what? Maybe even more. Give her a Rafael Cordero. Give her a ATT head coach. What's his name?
ATT head coach.
What's his name? Damn it. Whatever. ATT has, and I can't. The names aren't working right now in my head. Whatever. But ATT has coaches that teach great wrestling and they teach great kickboxing. Or go with. I would have gone with Mighty Mouse, Matt Hume. You see what Mighty Mouse is doing? Okay. So if you give Ronda even a different coach, she still would have done what she did. I think, my opinion, of course.
Better.
Or done better, done more. You know what I mean? Maybe she doesn't get knocked out by Holly Holm. Maybe they don't even get to that fight. But so I think, look, we saw Travis Brown take or Edmund take Ellenberger and fuck his game up, and Travis Brown just got knocked out. So I think Travis Brown before, if he fights the way he used to when he was with Greg Jackson, I think he can win this fight pretty easily. I don't think it's gonna happen. And Matt Mitrione has a reason to fight, has a big reason to fight. So I'm picking Matt Mitrione by insane haymaker. I really am. Just insane. My life depends on a haymaker with the right hand. And then he changes his name to Shoeless in the post-fight interview. What you got?
I gotta agree with you. I think, and the weird thing is that Travis Brown was with a good camp before, and after one loss, he said that he felt that Greg Jackson and company wasn't teaching him how to fight. What do you think you were doing in there before, dummy? Mm-hmm. How do you think you were winning before, dummy? I didn't know how to fight. Yeah, you did. You were just fighting smarter. And what has happened recently? Now you're fighting dumber. Because he's more inclined to trying to do boxing. He's not really advancing in all other aspects of the game, which is what you need to be a top contender. And I think the problem is Matt Mitrione is a lot more athletic than him, in my opinion. I think he's just got a better mind for this game. And I think Travis Brown has kind of a little bit been blinded by the fact that he lost one fight under one of the best coaches that he could have had, and he left that coach. Stupid, in my opinion. He should have stayed there. He should have just kind of rounded out his game and kind of, taken that loss and just kind of went back to the drawing board and, made the changes necessary to become a better fighter. I was a fan of Travis Brown before. After he went to this new camp, he's disappointed me. He hasn't shown any kind of improvement. People say that his hands look better. No, they don't. They look like a boxer's hands, which is not what you need in an MMA fight. You need to have MMA boxing, MMA kickboxing, MMA wrestling. You need to have all those things, not just boxing. So I think Matt Mitrione's going to get on him real fast. I think he's going to get within that striking range. He's either going to take him down and just beat his face in, or he's going to be able to hit him with one of those heavy haymakers that Matt Mitrione loves to throw, and put him on his ass and put him away. I just think, like you said, Matt Mitrione has a lot more to fight for than Travis Brown. So.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And the thing is too with Travis Brown, his complaint with Greg Jackson's was that he didn't get enough individual attention. Okay, he still won, didn't you? Like, it's a weird thing. And then to go, first of all, he should have never taken that fight against Arlovsky. Like, that was a bad fight. Yeah, I'm going to fight the guy, just like I said, the head coach that used to be my head coach, that knows my game to a T. You know what I mean? Mind you, that fight came down to scraps. Like, it wasn't much of a game plan by either guy. You know, but Greg Jackson was comfortable enough to say tell Arlovsky, hey, if you get into it, get into it. You know.
Yep.
Over on the YouTube, Joker saying MMA boxing, seriously, look at what Duffy's boxing did. Got him owned by Diamond. Exactly. Duffy's boxing was boxing. It wasn't MMA boxing. There's a difference. You know.
Yep.
Yeah. So
exactly remember when we talked about that fight, when we broke that fight down, and I told you guys that Duffy, his boxing and his kickboxing credentials don't cross over into MMA, unless you have those transitions, unless you have that ring time in MMA, then you develop, different ways of throwing stuff, different ways of positioning. And if you don't have that, you're just going to be standing there, flat-footed, taking shots that you don't necessarily need to. And then you don't have the defense that you normally would have with the big boxing gloves and all that.
Yep.
You carry over certain habits that are really bad in MMA, especially heavyweights.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The heavyweights that are boxers that come in without training MMA boxing are just stupid. Yeah. All right, man. So you take Mitrione too? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Yeah, me too. All right.
Meathead.
The cone. The shoeless meathead against the. I think Joker called him on YouTube. He said meathead. He said Joker says I got meathead against the wife beater. Those were allegations, bro.
Whoa,
right?
Man.
Allegations, homie.
Allegedly.
No charges were brought up. Chill.
You know what? Here's my thing too. When the last time we saw Travis Brown do good was when he KO'd what was his name, Alistair Overeem, when he was kicking him with those front kicks. Has he thrown any of those front kicks ever since he traded camps?
Nope. All hands.
All hands. See, you need to implement all your game that you have. He's not doing it unless he miraculously brings that back in this fight, but doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, maybe he looked at his tape and saw, because Mitrione can't. Mitrione has been, he's been victim to leg kicks before and everything, and you can use those against him. So Travis Brown would be smart to use him again. But maybe he's hard-headed and goes, Edmund tells me what to do and I do it. It's gonna be all boxing. So.
Well, he's my coach. I'm his boy. That's my woman. I'm her man, and I just fight.
That shit was funny as fuck. That shit, he actually said that though. Like most of that, he said that it's my woman, I'm her man. I'm like, yeah, we're back to caveman times. It's great. And you look like one fuckface, like whatever. All right. Co-main event, exciting fight in the lightweight division. First of all, number one, Anthony Pettis, still ranked number one, been gone since early March, I think. So he's been gone for a while. 15, right? Is when he lost? Yeah, March 15, 2015 against Rafael. Lost the belt to RDA. Hasn't been back until now. Fighting Eddie Alvarez, who's coming off a win over Gilbert Melendez. Gilbert Melendez. Against Gilbert Melendez. The weed smoker. That was really weird. Anyway.
Wait, was it weed?
No, it wasn't weed. It was testosterone metabolites, if I'm not mistaken.
Ah, okay.
I think. So, but, that was a weird thing. I don't understand it. And he's suspended for a year, too. So, Anyway, so he fought Gilbert Melendez, beat him by decision, split decision in June in UFC 188.
Where Verdun beat the hell out of Kane.
I got you. Yeah, he beat the hell. Well, yeah, he did beat the hell out of him. Yeah, Kane was pretty fucked up before he got subbed. Okay, you're right. All right, you won that one. Anyway, exciting fight. It's a big fight in the lightweight division, right? Two ranked guys fighting each other. Anthony Pettis wins this fight for sure. He gets a title shot pretty soon. After Conor fights RDA anyway, and depending on what happens in that fight, who knows? Eddie Alvarez, meanwhile, is trying to get himself into that top 10 ranking and get himself a big fight. Maybe look, Alvarez could be, if he beats Anthony Pettis, he's one big fight away from being called a contender, or maybe fighting for a title shot, depending on what the picture looks like by the time we get there. So, what do we know about Anthony Pettis? He's beat Jeremy Stevens, Joe Lozon. He beat Cowboy by liver kick, that nasty ass body shot he put on Cowboy. He beat Gilbert Melendez and Benson Henderson. Finished Benson Henderson by armbar. Oh wow! I ate lunch.
And RDA knocked out Benson, so.
Yeah, and then RDA stuffed the shit out of Anthony Pettis. Mind you, he survived all 5 rounds. All 5. Cowboy didn't even make it through one, or even half of one. So, it is for me, it's a weird fight to pick. But I'm picking Eddie Alvarez, man, by miracle, honestly. Philly boy. He's the thing about Eddie Alvarez is he's a brawler. And what Anthony Pettis doesn't do is get into brawls. He's not a guy that gets into brawls. Unless he gets his right eye beat to shit and he's forced to kind of brawl with, like what he did with RDA. RDA didn't give him a choice, though. RDA was like, I'm going to be this close to your face every time we're out there. So, but Eddie Alvarez is a brawler for the most part. We saw it against Gilbert Melendez and all that. And the fights he had with Michael Chandler and Bellator and all that, definitely a brawler kind of guy. So I think he's able to make this fight to a brawl, and I think he's gonna knock out Anthony Pettis. This is my bold pick of the night. I'm telling you right now, because I'm probably wrong. More than likely, Anthony Pettis is gonna hurt him, take it to the ground, and take his neck or something. Like I really do think Pettis. That this is almost tailor-made.
Can you say it's gonna be a steamroll? Because that's what a lot of people are thinking.
It could. No. And I'm saying right now, I'm picking Eddie Alvarez as my bold pick of the night, but smart money says Pettis. Who you got?
Man, I thought your bold pick of the weekend was going to be that chick that fought Cyborg. She was going to win.
I just fucking got booed. I think
by who?
By Joker. Did I get booed, or he's talking about the RDA fight? I'll tell you in a second. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, man. Wow. Well, he's got 2 people to boo. I think you're right. I think we have the game plan to beat Anthony Pettis, which is move forward and don't let him establish his range to be able to throw those fancy kicks, those fancy attacks that he likes to throw. And if you see in the first round against Gilbert, Gilbert just went forward, just threw for the fences, didn't give a single F whether he was going to get knocked out or anything. He was just going to move forward and put Anthony Pettis on his heels. And he was really successful in that first round. But what made Anthony Pettis so good in that fight was that he adjusted perfectly to counteract what Gilbert was doing. Eddie Alvarez, every single round he fights, it's a different fight. He likes to adjust. He likes to come in with something different every time he's coming into the next round. Although eventually it all breaks down into him just standing in front of you and throwing punches until somebody falls down, or he falls down and then you try to finish him. And then he uses his gigantic heart to survive and, figure out a way to get back, in the fight. That being said, I think Alvarez can hurt Pettis, and I think he can, lay it on him pretty good. I don't know if he can finish him. I think this is going to be a tough fight. And the only thing that gives me a little bit of pause is the fact that I hope we haven't caught Alvarez too late after his prime. I hope he didn't leave too much of his chin, too much of his brain cells, too much of himself in those fights in Bellator, or I think he was in Dream as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So I mean, all those wars that he was in, I hope he didn't leave too much of himself in those fights, that we don't have a true showing of Eddie Alvarez anymore in the UFC, because that's a shame. That would be a shame to not see the best of Eddie Alvarez here where we all wanted him to be, and again, he's got his back up against the wall almost, to 2-1 in his last 3 fights, right?
Right.
So I mean, not a good start to his career. He really needs to do something. And from what I hear, he left the Black Zillions to go back to his hometown of Boston, um, to train, and really just kind of get the feel of what he used to be. So hopefully we see old Eddie Alvarez back in there and really puts it on Anthony Pettis here. I agree with you. I hope he gets this win.
Yeah.
Are we getting booed? Is that what that is?
I got booed.
Oh,
So who you picking again? You picking Alvarez?
Alvarez.
Okay, so we're both getting booed now. Yeah. And Mike Jar's on Twitter with the picture of fuck his name. Whatever. He's got the what you talking about, Eddie? Picture going on. You know what I'm talking about. So he's about to make one for you too in a second.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyway, Joker saying Benson and Gilbert tried to grind and pressure and both got finished. True. And against RDA, his brother got knocked the fuck out earlier, and he was fighting out of one eye. He still went 5 rounds. I said that earlier too. I mean, the dude's tough, and so Pettis is a smart money. It really is.
We're not saying that's going to be an easy fight one way or another. This is going to be a long, dragged out fight because it's going to take a lot for Alvarez to be put away, but it's also going to take a lot for Pettis to be put away, as we saw in the last fight. So I mean, and we never know. We see a lot of fighters that get their eye busted, their nose busted, that kind of jittery after on their first fight back. They're not really sure after getting cracked in the eye again, how they react. So we'll see.
Yeah, and just a reminder, we're an hour away from the Fight Pass prelims. So as soon as the show's gonna be over in a few minutes here, so go get your food, your beer, your pizza, so you don't move a muscle for Fight Pass. Although you can get on your phone, so if you gotta go out and get go on a beer run or something, you can do that. Just take your phone with you. All right. All right, main event time. Dominic Cruz is back to take the belt. He never lost in the octagon. Fucking Mike Goldberg said that a million times the last 3 pay-per-views. I started losing my shit. And he's going to do it again tonight. Because if it's true that Joe Rogan's going to be in there, they're going to put Mike Goldberg on there too. So he's going to say it a million times before the fight starts. I'm going to lose my damn mind. And probably during the fight, he's going to say it 10 times at least. So regardless, Dominic Cruz coming back, taking on TJ Dillashaw for the belt, obviously. Dominic Cruz hasn't lost in forever. But he also hasn't fought before his last fight against Mizugaki, right, in September 2014. So I just thought about it. It's over 2 years, right? Over a year and a half. Over a year and change. 3-4 months, something like that. But before that, not since 2011 when he beat Demetrius Johnson at UFC Live 6. They don't even call it UFC Live anymore. You know what I mean? It's been he's the injuries taken a toll. So 30 years old, obviously out of Alliance MMA. Smarter, wittier, quicker, as far as the mental game goes. TJ Dillashaw is a meathead. Look, the reason TJ Dillashaw isn't out there peddling too many products other than NOS. Have you seen that NOS commercial of TJ's?
No, okay. I haven't.
TJ Dillashaw has a NOS commercial where they give him a can of NOS, and he's like, it's so cool that NOS pays for us to all do all this fun shit, whatever. They go cliff diving. And he jumps off the cliff with a bottle of NOS like this, out like this. All right. I don't know if you've ever done anything fun that's like that, but I don't hold shit in my hands when I do something crazy, all right? And this fucker's like, yay, cliff diving, and he's got this fucking NOS with the label pointed backwards so with the camera and shit. The dude's not that, they're not going to make him a spokesperson. They go, okay, we got to give you the easiest lines possible so you don't make yourself look really stupid. But Cruz knows all that shit. And on the thing at UFC 195, that little back and forth they had,
that was hilarious.
That was Cruz destroyed him, and TJ, he kind of just.
I don't want to talk no more. You gotta talk, dummy.
Yeah, you gotta talk, you dummy. What are you talking about? So TJ Dillashaw is not quick. He's not smart. What he is a skilled fighter. The dude, and he has power and he has some speed. He has good speed, right? Now, when we watch TJ Dillashaw, it really looks like he's trying to be like a Dominic Cruz. The footwork is there, but the way I see it, Dominic Cruz's footwork is way better. It's quicker, more crisp. Right? And he's pissed, and he's focused, and he's smarter. I think it's going to be a big mental thing in this fight, right? Because Dominic Cruz also knows that he could lose to TJ Dillashaw. He knows TJ is not a champion for no reason. TJ Dillashaw beat the shit out of Renan Barão twice. All right? So I'm going to take Cruz. I'm first of all, I make no fuss about it. I'm a Cruz fan. I've always been a Cruz fan. But I just think it's the original coming back to take on the weaker bootleg copy. Who you got?
Okay, a tough fight. you look at this fight, and basically what you see is two people that know how to switch stance, know how to use the footwork, know how to confuse their opponent. I think it was Kenny Florian that said it best. What Dominic Cruz does is he overloads your computer.
Did Kenny say
Meaning,
that, or did he take it from somebody else?
oh, that's messed up,
I'm
man.
joking. He
Damn,
probably said that. Go ahead. I'm
damn,
sorry. I'm
god
sorry.
damn.
I like Ken Flo. Ken, I'm
Gotta
sorry.
take a
Don't block
shot at
me.
Ken
Don't block
Flo.
me, bud.
Man. Well, at least he didn't say nothing about his hair, so I think
Yeah.
he'll be
Oh,
all right
yeah.
with that.
He won't. Yeah. If I say something about his hair, he's gonna block me. He
No, he'll
probably.
come and kill you in your
Yeah.
sleep.
Now he trying to find me.
But that's what Dominic does. He confuses you. He uses so much movement, footwork, to really keep you guessing. And then when he throws, he doesn't throw from a straight up position. He doesn't throw from one angle. He throws from several different angles. I mean, it almost looks like he's gonna fall over before he hits you with something. Um, I don't think TJ Dillashaw has ever seen anybody in front of him that can move and hit him from so many different angles.
Agreed.
I think Dillashaw is going to have a trouble basically finding somebody that's faster and can hit him from much different angles than what Dillashaw is thinking of. That being said, if Dillashaw is able to hit him once, that might be it. That might be the curtain call
Yeah.
for Cruz, and I think Cruz knows that. Like you said, he knows it 100%. And what he was telling them in the breakdown in that show. What are you gonna do? You're gonna knock me out? How? How are you gonna do it? I don't
Right.
get hit. You can't hit somebody that just stands in front of you, and that's gonna be the key. That Dillashaw is gonna have to figure out a way to figure out where Cruz is gonna be. He's going to either have to back him up in against the cage and hold him there and try to corral him to be able to hurt him, or he's going to try to get lucky out in the open and crack him with something. I don't think either one of those situations is going to be easy for him to pull off, and I think Cruz is just going to be able to just dance around him in circles, overwhelm him with punches, and eventually I think Dillashaw is going to overextend himself and get hurt. I just see Cruz coming in here and really putting on a good show and really proving why he's the best. And I'm gonna say something. I think TJ Dillashaw is a bit overrated in the sense that who has he really beaten that's a top contender versus who Dominic Cruz has beaten that is a top
Yeah.
contender. You look at people that Dominic Cruz has been dominant over. He's beaten, a guy that's a champ at 125. He's beaten a guy that's the perennial contender in Uriah Faber. He's beaten, so many people, and I think he would have done probably the same that TJ did to Renan Barão, or even worse to Renan Barão, in my
Yeah.
opinion. So I think people have forgotten what Dominic Cruz is all about, and I think people are gonna remember and go, oh yeah, he's the best. He is the best. They don't call him the Dominator for no reason. I really think he's kind of like a GSP that really just puts so much on you, makes you look stupid, makes you look like an amateur out there. And like you said, he's coming to, you know, show who's the original, who's the best, and he's gonna put TJ Dillashaw in a lot of trouble.
I agree. And the other part to this too that I think goes against TJ is all that he's just gone through very recently. The very public split with Faber
Mhm.
and Team Alpha Male. The move to Colorado to a new camp with new people and
But
new trainers.
you notice that a lot of the Alpha Male crew is out there helping him to
Oh
prepare.
yeah. They know if they completely disconnect themselves. Here's the thing: TJ Dillashaw is probably not a bad dude. He's probably not a bad kid. And that's why they're like, oh, look, I know we split, but we're still gonna go out there because fuck this whole thing between him
He
and
needs
Faber.
all the help he can get, dude. He needs all
Absolutely,
the help he can get
and they
to
know
for
it.
this fight.
They
Yeah.
know it.
And if he loses, imagine how bad it's going to look for TJ. Having left his Team Alpha Male, having a new coach and all this stuff, and complaining about Uriah Faber not getting him a coach, all this
Mhm.
stuff, and he gets beaten. Not a good look for him.
Not at all. And honestly, it would be a bad look for Team Alpha Male as well. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I think it's a lose-lose. So they need him to win, and they need him to win convincingly if possible. So, all right, guys that you were talking about, guys that Cruz beat: Ian McCall, Joseph Benavidez, Brian Bowles, Benavidez twice in WEC, Scott Jorgensen, Uriah Faber, Demetrius Johnson. You meet Demetrius Johnson. Mind you, it's at 135, and Johnson DJ had no business being at 135. But
But
mm,
But I mean, look at DJ. I mean, his skills, and a lot of people are like, oh yeah, well, DJ wasn't really training full time. So he still was one of the best back then.
Oh,
He
easily.
got that title shot because he
Yep.
was so good, and he got schooled by Dominic. So
Yeah. Real quick on the YouTube, Joker says it makes me laugh to imagine a conversation between a bumbling Dwayne and a slow TJ. Yeah, it's kind of weird. That might be because why they get along. They're
can you
both kind of
imagine Dwayne just like spitting out 100-mile-an-hour words,
yeah.
and TJ is just like,
Okay.
I punch now, I punch
Yeah,
now.
I know. It's just sad. All right. So again, so that's gonna be our pre-fight show. Again, five pass prelims begin in 50 minutes, 5-0, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time on Fight Pass. FS1 prelims begin 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. And actually, let me check FS1 real quick. All right, there's no basketball game. In fact, they're doing UFC like countdown shows, so we should
Mhm.
be okay with nothing having to worry about a game going overtime or anything crazy. And then they kick the FS2, which would be awful. Um, now that I think about it, that might be the other reason this card's on Sunday, because it was going to be on FS1 the whole time. And I know
Yeah,
yesterday there was quite a few basketball games on FS1, so maybe they had to do it on Sunday. So, um, anyway, FS1 prelims 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. FS1 main card on FS1 as well, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Free card, great card. Enjoy yourselves, people. It's gonna be great.
watch it. And one last thing, everybody keep in mind people that are over there in Indonesia. I have a
Mm-hmm.
friend that's over there, so keep in mind those people. Lots of crap happening over there. Go read the news, people. Find out what's happening.
Definitely, you're right, and always, you gotta keep in mind all the people that are out there that are in really really shitty situations like that. Um, you know, the world it just never ceases to scare the shit out of you. So you stay informed, people. That's just what it is. Stay informed, stay safe, and keep an eye on your loved ones as well. All right, that's gonna do it for us today. Thanks, Jesse, for coming on. You can follow him at Spawat1983. You can see it right there. There you go. And I'm the other one, at Elaw31. We'll shoot the shit with you guys during the fights. Again, they started 50 minutes, so go get all your snacks and everything, and enjoy tonight's UFC Boston card. Catch you guys tomorrow for an early morning, the morning glory as usual. Called it will go on probably tonight after the fights if I can stay awake. And so I was gonna have this tomorrow night as well, I believe. Yeah. Okay. So if you speak
Sounds good.
Spanish, come hang out. All right. All right, guys. You guys have a good one, and we'll catch you guys next time.